And welcome. Happy last working day of National School Library Month. Okay, here's my quick screen share. I think it's just we never get out of our spaces to see each other's spaces. So that was the whole point of this. We did this last year. It was fun last year because we were all very into virtual field trips. And we actually toured a couple of libraries from across the state. So yeah, it's just fun to share what we've been working on all year. Like I said, we will, Jill, are you still okay with going first? Okay, so Jill Myers, South Lane School District. Then we'll hop over to Amy, and Amy, if you're not in location yet, I'll go first, and I have a video. I'll play my video. And yeah, here was last year. So we did do Siuslaw, Redmond, Portland, Eugene. And then I did send these slides out to everyone. I will put the video recording of this on our PD Padlet so everyone has access to it. And then actually, let me stop my screen share real quick. And I always think it's just really fun to do the introduction. So let's just take a minute to do that. And I'll just call on names as I see you on my screen. So I'm Jennifer McKenzie, K-12 District Teacher Librarian for Siuslaw School District in Florence, Oregon. And this is my second year in this school district, 20th year as an educator. I think I'm at like year 7 as a teacher librarian. All right, so next on my screen is Shauna. Do you want to go ahead?
Hi, I'm Shanna Hakama, and I am the library aide for the Marcola Mohawk School District. I've been doing this for about 7 years now. So, yeah.
Thank you. And Anne, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Ann Campbell, and I work for the North Douglas School District. I have been the high school librarian for 15 years, and 5 years ago, when our elementary librarian retired, they, instead of hiring someone else, they gave me that too. So now I serve preschool through 12th grade.
Okay, we are always busy taking on all the things. Debbie, do you want to go next?
Sure. I'm on the other side of the state, Eastern Oregon, Harney County School District number 3. And that means I'm district librarian for Burns High School, Hines Middle School, and Slater Elementary. And it's just me. I don't have any other library staff, so, but small district. So, and this is the end of my 5th year, and I was in the schools 2 years prior to that as part of a grant program to make sure we got a teacher librarian in the district. So yeah, that's cool.
Thank you for your advocacy for sure. Valerie, she's like zooming and also serving customers at the same time, but go ahead and introduce
Sorry. I'm Valerie Graybill from the Siuslaw Middle School. And this is my first year here. Oh, as in the library. Sorry, I have kids all over. So I'm not trying to be rude going, woo.
Val's been doing amazing work, and I did, like I said, I did a little recording, and I'll play my recording of all 3 of our libraries at the end. Jill, do you want to go ahead and introduce?
Yeah, I am Jill Myers. I'm the librarian at Lincoln Middle School in Cottage Grove, South Lane School District. I started teaching here. This is my 19th year teaching here. And in 2009 is when I moved over into the library from many other things that I taught.
Okay, and Amy, if you can hear us while you're driving.
Yes, yeah, so I'll turn my screen on once I'm done driving. But I'm actually just arriving at the school too. So yeah, my name is Amy Page, and I am the district librarian in Eugene School District 4J, and I've been here since January of 2020. And before that, I was teaching in a little rural school in Springfield School District, and I was the librarian there for 10 years, maybe 9, yeah, something like that. Anyway, I've been a librarian for 12 years, I think, and then a teacher since yeah, 25 years, 24 years. I don't know. I'm losing count. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for hosting us, Jen.
All right, thank you so much for the introductions, everybody. And I think now we'll turn it over to Jill, and you get to do our first live tour. So you just walk and talk and show us the things, and if people have questions, we'll chime in or.
Okay. Okay, I put my computer on a cart, so hopefully that helps. I don't have a class visiting this period, thankfully, but I just had one last period, and it's been kind of a hectic week here. So this will be my library, warts and all. Okay. I'll just start you off here. So that's the door out to the main hall, and then of course kids come in here. Checkout counter, there's my peer assistant Sky, way to be Sky. And then fiction section. Oh, this is our display for books that are on the chopping block.
Hey, Jill, you're kind of cutting in and out a little bit. Like when you talk, when you're moving, it cuts out just a little bit. And also,
Okay.
I love your big signage. That looks awesome.
Oh, thanks. My assistant really helped with a lot of that. I worked on the meat cleaver with a friend. So this is the fiction section. I'll try to move and then stop maybe. How about that?
Yeah, I think that'll work. What
So
gorgeous
here's the-
seating.
Oh yeah, thanks. So this is the fiction section. That back wall there, that's all windows. We'll see it more when we go over the classroom side. But so when they first come in, yeah, there's display here, and that's where the surf desk is. And then fiction section. And then there's this over to the classroom side.
Jill, you also have a really large space. That's a lot.
Yeah,
of
it's
space to
about
work
the
with.
size of 2 classrooms. So this
Nice.
is the classroom side of the library. And so I generally, that's my card up there, and we'll get up there because back behind there is the maker space. So we'll talk about that. My office is right over here behind us. And then there's also a workroom and the garage. So like there's a whole section down that area that I have just sort of closed off for a variety of things. Yeah, so when students come in to visit, they come sit here at all these tables, or when I teach a class, they're all at these tables. And then I have a whole set of desktop computers, they're Chromeboxes. I have 15 of those and then 20 laptops. So that's good. I'm gonna move you, and then you can see here's this whole wall of windows. There's a great view out here, and it's like complete distraction anytime it snows. We just have to stop everything because the whole wall of windows. And I don't blame them. I want to look at it too. So I'm going to move us up forward towards the maker space. Oh, actually, this is graphic novels, which is on the back side of fiction. So
Hey, Jill, can you repeat that again, what you just said about this section you're showing us?
this is, I don't know if you can see the sign up there, but this is graphic novels. This is the graphic novel section. It used to be just like a 2 bookshelf, it was like 2 bookcases in the fiction section, and it just clearly needed to grow and grow and grow and expand. So this was the reference book section, and I just took all those out, absorbed them into nonfiction, or got rid of them because that wasn't being used anymore anyway. And so made it all graphic novels. So it's been really nice because it's spread them out and been able, then I can display a lot more. And that's helpful because it just really increases them getting checked out. So I'm going to be quiet and move us back towards the maker space.
That is a really pretty view out that window, and I would be
Yeah.
distracted as well.
Yes. It is interesting because students kind of forget that it's not like a one-way mirror, like I can see them out there. So sometimes they'll be out there. It's open the window, I'm like, I can see you. And they'll say, oh, I wasn't using my phone or whatever. Middle school, I love it. Okay. So this is the makerspace area. And so these are all, they were bookcases filled with nonfiction. And I cleared all of them out and then I painted the cases so that they'd be distinct from other bookcases. And then the tops of the tables are bookshelves that I took and sanded down and then put on top so that it made like a table on top. And then invested in a whole bunch of bins, and all these are labeled and stuff with stuff. It still needs lots of organization because it always does, but That's that. And then if you look there, that door there. There we go. This door here, that's labeled the garage. That's where additional makerspace stuff is, the big pile of cardboard and stuff that's a little messier or just needed other storage. I put over there. So students can go in the garage if they're in makerspace and have that permission, but by and large, students have to stay out here in the main library area. And then in between the garage and my office is like a workroom. So
You have an amazing space and a lot of space to work with.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's not a lot of room. There's nowhere to hang like posters or a lot of signage. So we've had to get kind of creative with those sometimes, but I don't care. That's not a priority to me when we can have like the windows and the space and the high ceiling. I love it. It's nice. My dream someday is to knock back that and make a balcony. If I had a couple $1 million.
Does anyone have any questions for Jill right now after looking at her space? You can just unmute yourself and ask if you do.
I don't have a question, but I did want to say I love all your big signage, and your arrow pointing to the Dropbox was amazing. I'm probably going to steal that, just FYI.
Oh, they still ask.
Do they really?
Oh gosh, it's still like, here, and I'm like, oh, if you could just return that where that big yellow arrow is, that'd be great.
Yeah, I know. Mine's like right by me, and they like come hand it to me. I'm like, oh, you can just put it in the Dropbox. They're like, what Dropbox? I'm like, the
Yeah.
one right there. What? How long has that been there?
Same
Yeah,
thing
forever.
happens in the makerspace. You know, do you have scissors? I say, yes, it's in the box marked scissors. Do you have paper? Yes, it's on the table marked paper. Everything. Just look.
That's funny.
My elementary school, we made this monster over, and the mouth is the drop slot. It's in the wall, leading into the school in the library. And some paras made it for me, and we named it Bob the Blob. And every class that comes in, they feed Bob, but I still have kids come in and they're like, what should I do with this? And I'm like, feed Bob. Oh, cracks me up.
Nice. Did anybody need to see anything better? That felt kind of awkward. So if anybody needs to see anything, I can.
It was
On
really
camera.
good. The sound
Okay.
was cutting in a little bit, in and out, but whatever. We understood what you were referring to. So
I love that you put that extended table on the bookshelf. That's an awesome idea. So that there's a workspace on top of that
yeah.
red one
Yeah,
behind
there.
you.
You can and work on getting
That's so cool.
office chair mats because I have carpeting. So I got office chair mats so that I could, there's paint and stuff because the tops of these tables look already pretty crazy because there's making happening here. So.
Right?
Mhm.
What did you say you made those out of? Are they shelves?
Yeah. So when I cleared out, I just had a ton of extra shelves here
have
that I
that
may
too,
regret
yeah.
having taken them all. But since I cleared so much nonfiction out, I didn't need all the shelving that was already in these tables. So these are all bookshelves that I just sanded down and refinished and then put nailed onto the top of these bookcases. And then one of the cases too, I added doors to the front. That's the tech cabinet. And it does have a lock, but I actually don't need to lock it so much, but the tech cabinet and the art cat, like the stuff where we keep paint and stuff, I wanted something that had a little bit of a barrier so kids weren't just freewheeling, pulling out paint. The recipe for disaster.
Well, and you're also encouraging me in my middle school library. I have this whole low shelves of old ancient reference books. And my thought was, I need to clear those out to put my graphic novels because I keep adding them. But so you're just encouraging me to do that. Thank you.
It was nice to spread them out so much more. They were in there so jam-packed. And also kids were flocking to them. So there still is a lot of jamming. I mean, this is now spans 5. So it spreads the kids out looking for them. which is helpful. It still becomes a hot mess. It's a constant, it's always nuts. Because also graphic novels are such different sizes. They're all so variant. So stuff gets just pushed around over there. But yeah, and it was hard to get rid of reference books because librarians, we love looking at reference books, or at least I do. So it was hard to get rid of some, but so I compromised by absorbing some into nonfiction, even though the circ data probably isn't going to be great on them there either.
Oh, well, thank you so much for giving us the walkabout. It seems like such a little thing, but it's such a big deal for us, again, to see each other's spaces and get those ideas. So I do believe that Amy is ready for us. So excuse me while I unspotlight and try to re-spotlight. Okay, there, now I see Amy. I think, yes, now you are spotlighted, Amy. All right, go
All
ahead.
right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm here at Monroe Middle School, and I just have to give props to Buffy, to Buffy, who is the library manager here, because I totally asked her last minute, because the other place we were going to visit was like, I can't. I'm like, Buffy's just as good. So so anyway, she like totally agreed, totally last minute. And so she's great spirit. And so I'm going to flip my camera around and introduce you to Buffy. All right, this is Buffy.
Hi, everybody.
And we are outside her library. Tell us about what we're
So we
seeing
have
here.
our whiteboard here where the kids like to do a riddle of the day, and they contribute to putting up different ideas every day, or they decorate, and kids come in with guesses, and it brings kids into the space. So let's come in and check it out. So we have, I would say, a very artistic, colorful library. We've had an art program where the kids, as the 8th graders, would have a project where they would share the project of painting a chair. And we got to keep them all. So do you want to span over there? and
Yeah.
look at
Oh,
all
yeah.
the-
The chairs. Look at these cool chairs. So all the chairs in our library are super colorful.
That's
so
so teachers
cool.
who have to retire, they would take a chair with them. So they're slowly leaving us, but it is something very unique to our space, which is really fun. So
Yeah, the chairs are really cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very cool. So off to our left here, we have our poetry tree this month. We try to theme this out and have kids get involved. And sometimes I'll ask them for like gratefulness. What are you grateful for? We'll stick it up there. Just found these rocking chairs. I've been looking for these. These were $40 at Kohl's. Indestructible. They hold 350. For middle schoolers, it's a good fit. So the kids come in and they just sit, rock, chat. So
What a
that's been
cute
fun.
space. I love it.
Yay.
So does this tree change with your theme?
Yeah,
whenever?
we try to keep it fresh and keep it changing, and like we'll do at the beginning of the year, a lot of just welcoming ideas, and yeah.
So I don't know if you can see that, but the tree is actually painted on the wall, and so then she just changes the
Yeah,
tree.
and then I printed out all of these. It's a poetry by Shel Silverstein, and there are a ton of poems that I was able to print out legally and put up there. And so we also have a little poetry board going on for the month, and they have the magnets that they can, you want to show them over here?
Yeah.
And we try to keep it clean.
The
This is a
magnet
tough one.
poetry.
I haven't brought it back for a couple of years before COVID because kids would, you know, how they are, rip them, make them into interesting things.
That's awesome.
So I love this to be an inspirational space for kids to come, and those who want to read and be quiet, we try to have a space for them, and others who want to hang out because lunch is uncomfortable for them. That's it fills the need too. We have Uno cards, kids come in and play. Kids did that today. We have our themed featured books here from time to time. Also, for Valentine's, we did the books that you love. We have our Spanish on the left right now, and then we have our cultural on the right. We're gonna do a little Cinco de Mayo festive day next week. A couple kids wanted to bring in some ideas, so I'm gonna let them do that.
And so Monroe is a Spanish immersion
Yep.
school. So
Yep.
they come from Buena Vista, which is K-5 Spanish immersion, and they come to Monroe, and then they go to Sheldon.
Right,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So we have our biography section, and then we have our LGBTQ section, and we got some books this year. We don't have many left right now. There's a lot of those circulating, which is great. And the kiddos, have printed some of the things I have up, and if they want to contribute to what we display in the library, I let them. I want it to be their space. So this year we were working on growing our graphic novels and our Spanish collection. So we're going to continue to do that. A lot of the older titles, they were all published in this orange, and it's just not very, it's not
Appealing.
beautiful. It's not appealing. So that's what we're working on here. And Makerspace. I was inspired by Miss Amy here to try my hand at Makerspace.
So Buffy says that. I have to tell you that all I have to do is mention an idea to Buffy, and then she's like, Makerspace? What's that? And then, I just mentioned it, and she
Yeah.
took off with it.
So this has been wonderful this year. The grants. I came across a couple sewing machines that were purchased with grant money this summer, and they were in boxes. So I opened the boxes. And we have a couple sewing machines going, and one of our kiddos made a dress for their sibling. Finished it today.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's
And
amazing. That's
we've had like
absolutely
4
amazing.
machines donated so far. So I got to give away 2 this week. It's really a community thing. It's amazing. So I'm super proud of the kids for trying their hand, boys and girls alike. We have our computer, little, what do you call this? Meet Edison. Our
Oh, yes.
district had purchased some robotics. So each of the kids can take a kit and play around with that and make the robot do what they want during their lunchtime. This is a very clean space. Usually it is piled high with art projects. Kids come in and paint during their lunchtime, and I just use it as I can. And we have teacher appreciation this next week. So we're doing a space theme. So they made me tons of planets. They helped me theme my board. So at the top, it says be leaf in yourself. That was one of our kids' ideas.
Cute.
So it kind of morphed into what you see. It'll be changing soon. So we've been doing our paint by numbers. They've almost completed this dog, and then they completed that dog over there.
Oh, the Christmas dog.
Sweet. Yeah. And the diamond dot, this one is in progress, and the other one is completed over there. Diamond dots were
Wait,
by
wait,
far the
hold up
favorite.
on that diamond dot. Like, go back to the diamond dot. Amy, is that like the stick together, but instead
It's kind of the same concept. Yeah. If you can see
It's pre-sticky.
how they have so they take show them why
Yeah,
don't
you
stick
use one of
there?
these little guys, and you put wax in the tip, and it picks up the piece, and you match it to the color.
Yeah.
You gotta
so
show them
then-
this one. This is really
Yeah, so
cool.
here's
the
the
kids were
finished.
super proud of themselves for getting it completed.
That's a completed one.
Well, who doesn't like bedazzling things? That's
Right.
what I gotta say. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
So we morph over to our puzzle table. That keeps changing what puzzles we have out. And just another quiet space for kids to just chill and work on something.
And look at this sweet space.
Yeah, they like to sit in different spaces, right? And then our fiction is all around the edge there, and our nonfiction's in the center. And we haven't had as many avid readers, I wouldn't say, this year as we've had crafters, kids coming in to learn to crochet. We have a group for Flex that are crocheting now, and we've got some of these little figurines that are coming out, and it's
So
great.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So we put the books with the crafts, of course, so they can have a resource as they're learning. But I love trying to get kids to mentor one another. So there are some kids who really know what to do, and then we put them together, and it's just an awesome thing to watch as we all get to
Cool.
be together again.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for visiting our library.
Yeah. Did you guys have any questions?
Yeah, anybody have any questions? What a super creative and imaginative space. Oh my goodness, so many beautiful ideas. Any
Aw.
comments or questions from the group? Just go ahead, unmute yourself and ask.
I have a question. With regards to Makerspace, is that only during your flex time, or do you also have kids for another time that you
We-
do Makerspace? Like, when does Makerspace time happen?
So I'm only here from 10 to 2, 2:30. And so they really use it during their lunch times. So we have 3 lunches and they come in and they just get busy on their lunchtime plus flex time, which happens 2 days a week. So kids just can access whatever they find whenever they come in here.
I've got a question too. So you have your LGBTQ section, like you've got it highlighted.
The kids wanted their own section, and so
Okay,
it happened several years ago. Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
I would be like scared to do that in my middle school library or my high school library, as if, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense if they want to find those books, but then I feel like we're like, hey, look. And
I'd love to
sometimes-
say that a quarter of our population of 600 are interested in pursuing that.
Okay, cool.
It is very popular. It's very common here, a lot of hand holding, and they're always asking me for more.
Yeah,
There's
So-
always like, people always go back and forth about pull out or disperse. And I think that when I worked at South Medford High School, we did not have a Spanish immersion school, but we had a large Hispanic population. And so then we pulled all the books out in Spanish so that our emergent speakers could find them, you know, so, and that was kind of a like, should we pull them out or should we leave them in the collection? So that it's like you can bounce back and forth sometimes between that, I feel.
I
But
find too that our kids don't want to look too hard. So if I make it easy for them, where all the Spanish is together, it's easier for them to just help themselves to it.
Yeah, and they're coming to Buffy without having any elementary library experience. Like, so Buena Vista's library sadly is closed. I did just meet with that principal. We're trying to work on that. But so these kids don't really have any experience navigating a library. So until 4J fixes that, which I have news about that, then she's going to continue to have to make books the easiest that they can be to find, because they just come
And
having
I'm
no
trying to
library
teach them how to
skills.
use our computer system, because I know that in high school, it's the same. So it's beneficial for them to learn that now, how to look for a book, and then I go with them. Yeah, they're learning from the basics, basically. So,
I
but
can't wait to hear about your news that you have, Amy, soon. But are there any other questions or observations about this amazing space that you just walked us through?
I'm so envious of all the creative makerspace stuff that everybody has going on. The sewing machine, that's amazingly inspirational. I love that idea.
I know, when I saw Buffy pull those out, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so brave. She's like, well, you know, and she just laughs through whatever mistakes. And I think your frame of mind with makerspace really makes a difference. Like, you just have to embrace the imperfection of it all
And the mess.
and the mess, and that it's
I'll
just
show you guys how I've got the organized yarn. We have our little crochet station over here.
oh yeah, here's two.
Yeah, with some of the books and things, but it's cute. I've just tried to get things labeled and put in drawers so that it's easy to find. And like my crochet hooks, putting labels on everything has minimized the amount of missing materials.
Well, I had a ton of those.
Embroidered.
I had a ton of those containers donated to me. I think they're for photographs or something. And I'm definitely putting those suckers to work. The containers.
Yeah, those are
Gee.
really great. And then I had large and small scraps of fabric donated. And
Mhm.
so I've decided to get rid of all the little stuff, but the large and small is working for me.
Yeah.
And then don't be afraid to use some of this little
Mhm.
stuff as filling, because we were making lots of pillows. And that was a
Yeah.
really nice, easy project. And they would give those away as a gift. It's like, let's think of others, make something for someone else.
Yeah.
And that's the expensive part of sewing that I found, is the filling. So,
Yeah. I wonder too, like, I think there's great places to get fabric donated. I'll have to ask. My assistant principal is way into quilting and stuff and is involved in groups, because I have a sewing machine too. It's kind of it's tucked away right now because I'm not
but
teaching
these
makerspace at
parents
the
talk
moment.
about being with their grandparents, and
Yes.
it brings up really nice conversation between kids within their own groups
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they
and I-
wouldn't normally talk about.
Yeah, I had a boy
I
who
love that.
made a pillow this year that was like, he was so in, he'd never sewn before. He got really into it, pretty much taught himself. And he and I kind of learned together on some things, because the last time
Yeah.
I made a patchwork pillow, I was in 8th grade. grade. So it's like, and I had a former home ec teacher donated a whole bunch of pre-cut like patchwork pillow things.
Yeah.
So they really just have to pull the pieces together and then put them together.
Well, and that's what
he
Amy was
putting
talking
in on
about.
extra time to do it. He was amazing. He was so
Yeah.
into it. And then he learned, he had to do a reflection about what did you learn? He said, I learned how to rip out an ungodly amount of stitches.
I love it. Well, I love that Makerspace doesn't have to be something you already know how to do. It's something that you can research with the kids. They can research and come the next day
Yep.
and know a little bit more, and you learn together, and that has bonded us. So it's
Mhm.
really, the whole process is beneficial.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Super
you.
amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay. Any other final questions, or we'll flip on over to the last recorded tour? I'm not giving you a live tour. I'm giving you a recorded tour. Are we ready for it?
I did have another
Oh,
quick
yeah.
question. So with the sewing machines, are you there supervising? I know our middle school home ec teacher is like, she's got to be on, all of them, because especially middle school, it just seems like they're going to do some, dumb stuff, but
Yeah, we haven't
One
had
of-
any issues with that. The biggest thing I learned was that not having too many machines at once going so that I can keep them running more than kids trying to be mischievous with it.
okay.
Yeah.
The knitting needles and the crochet hooks.
And I think too,
That's
with
different.
Makerspace, kids are choosing that activity. Where in a home ec room, they all have to do this. And so when they come to Makerspace, like sewing
They actually
something
have an
they
interest and they're trying.
want to do, they want to learn it. So it's
Yeah.
probably
It's a good
in
point. I haven't had
my
any problems.
case, I have a makerspace class that I teach. So there's like, 25 to 30 kids in here at one time. And it's a little bit of a 3-ring circus. So my strategy for that is there are certain things like the sewing machine, like the X-Acto knives, like the box cut, like you have to come to a training session during flex. So I make them have to come in on their own time, during their flex period to get that one-on-one time with me so that I can get them set up and they don't need as much of me standing over them and, basically make it real clear about what they're allowed to use, where they're allowed to use it, how they can use it. But
Yep.
it's a trickier thing. I had envisioned doing Makerspace more in that style of drop-in. And then my principal was like, well, you need to teach an elective. And I said, okay. It'll be Makerspace.
Well, we have kids trying to steal things from time to time. So we've locked our library when I'm not here. And we also have kids trying to skip class to come in and finish what they were working on. Or that's the negative side. Bonus side is the library is a safe space for kids who need a break. And if they're having a hard day, there are some of these nice activities that are quiet. Counselors that use the space use these activities too. Yeah. It's just, we found a lot of use for them this year.
Okay, super amazing. I'm giving you a virtual round of applause. That's so awesome. Hey, my mom owns her own little sewing business. It is like a lost art. So it's so cool to see everything that you have going on. You have so much going on. All right, I'm gonna just flip on over here real quick. Oh my gosh, I can't find my video. And I'm just gonna play my video, and please stop me if you have any questions. I might fast forward a little bit if I need to. Can you see my screen, and will you give me a thumbs up if you can hear the volume on the video? Hi, it's Jen McKenzie.
I stopped hearing it. I was hearing it at first.
Road, so I'm gonna go just walk down the street. So our district office.
Can you hear it
elementary
now?
School, middle school, high school.
Yep.
All down the same road.
Yeah, we can hear it, but then the video is a little choppy. It doesn't quite line up.
Also, Florence is known for our rhododendrons. Rhododendron Festival is coming up. Let me pause real quick. Did you say the video is choppy?
Yeah, it's not kind of lining up with the audio.
Okay, let me try. Hi, it's Jen McKenzie, K-12 district teacher librarian for Sayusa School District in Florence, Oregon. I'm going to take you on a quick little tour of our school district. We serve about 1,500 students and staff. All of our district buildings are literally down one road, so I'm gonna go just walk down the street. So our district office, elementary school, middle school, high school, all down the same road. So come along with me and take a tour. Also, Florence is known for our rhododendrons. Rhododendron Festival is coming up in May. They are in bloom right now and gorgeous. Here we go. All right, let's head on into the Sayusla Elementary Library. All right, we're heading into the Sayusla Elementary School Library where the infamous Mrs. Julia Craig resides. She's amazing. As all of our libraries have been doing, we've been celebrating National School Library Month. We're going to do a little walkabout here in just a second, but we have to share this new little machine thingy that Julia just got. Julia, do you want to explain what this thing is and kind of show us how it works? It's super slick.
It's called a taping system applicator, where I'm putting the book tape here. And you just kind of line this up because I'm going to put some tape on the edge there. Put it underneath. Pull that tape forward right to where you want it to be. And
That is so slick. As you know, many of us, if we're not covering the whole entire book, we'll just do the spine or the edges. And we just ordered that. And how much was that machine again? I think I want to say it was like 150 maybe.
close to 160.
Okay, yeah, but I think well worth it. That looks super handy. Okay, so now let me just do a spin around the library real quick. So we have all of our fiction and book bundles and easy readers, and there's one of our behavior specialists on campus. Hello, you're in our video. And then we're going to spin around this way. And one of the things we really wanted to show you was the brand new ClearTouch interactive screen. All three libraries just got one. So this is where all the library instruction occurs in this library. And we used to have just a floaty cart, projecting up there. But let's head on over. And Julia, do you want to show us a couple of things that we've learned so far? It's a learning process, but what's beautiful about this thing is that it is completely on wheels and it's one plug-in cord. And it's essentially just a big old computer that also kind of acts like a big old iPad because it's touch screen. So it did not come with an external camera, but we just got a little tiny webcam up top. I've already done zooms on the thing. And then we got a little plug and play USB dock cam right there. You can see Julia when she's doing her read alouds, she'll just pop it under the dock cam and you can move. As you saw her adjust the size, you can just pinch it just like you do with an iPad. Just think of how you use an iPad. So nice and crisp and sharp. So yeah, your first week with this panel, you did, what was the name of the book again, Julia?
Vincent Can't Sleep Without Vincent Van
Yeah, do you want to open up that drawing app next and show us how we can draw as well? So she read the story and used the drawing tool, the palette on the screen to kind of draw a little picture as she read the story. And then the students got to, at their desks with crayons, kind of mimic. But do you want to show them how you can do like a 1 finger and then a 5-finger touch? It's multi-touch. So, I mean, you can do, yeah, just think of, I used to have the app called, I think it was Art Pro on my iPad. That's what this kind of reminds me of. Super fun. And you can use any tool to draw on the screen. So I actually have some big paint brushes. So you can hold a dry paintbrush in your hand and draw. For students with mobility issues, the rep was telling us that sometimes teachers will use like a tennis ball to put that into a child's hand so they can draw with the tennis ball. There's so many creative things we can be doing with this screen, and we've just like touched the surface. What else do you want to say about this thing, Julia?
Well, I am still learning a lot about it. Yes, with the Snowflake program, I understand that there are activities that go in certain books that you read. There's all sorts of activities on there that are interactive. This will lower so that the smaller children can come up and do something as well, or engage in an activity. And it also has the ability to play videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I find that
Yeah, it's super rad and we're excited to learn more about it. Well, thank you so much for letting us take a tour of your library, Julia. Great, so we're just getting ready to go inside of the Saisla Middle School Library. All right, everyone, I was just getting ready to walk inside of the middle school, and right outside of the front entrance, we have a mural artist from Eugene who's been contracted to do this super rad mural. And these are all things Florence, Oregon, to include those rhododendrons we were just talking about. So this is Bain from Eugene, and then also looped in through the Lane Arts Council and the Florence Regional Art Alliance. All right, so we're at the middle school, Saisla Middle School. We're just getting ready to walk into the library. The libraries are for everybody. And here we go. Okay, so here's our Saisla Middle School Library. I'll take a tour around the space in just a second, but first, you must meet the amazing Mrs. Val Graybill.
Hello.
Hi, so Val is new to this library and she has been doing super fabulous, amazing things. We have Genrefied, which is a huge undertaking. We have introduced a million bazillion makerspace stations. What are those? To separate the books. Oh, very nice, very nice. I mean, she's always got like super cool, creative things going on, like the genre wheel. Kids don't know what to read. They can take a spin. All right, so let's just take a spin around so you can see all her creativity. Maya Angelou is one of my favorite human beings. Val just put that quote on the board, and ain't that the truth, people? People will forget what you said, forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. All right, we're celebrating National School Library Month and students returning in slips and fun prizes. We have all sorts of makerspace stations everywhere that Mrs. Graybill is periodically switching out. Okay. Let's kind of take another spin this way. Some of our nonfiction lives over there. We have lots of fun, creative seating. Lots of games. Everyone always loves the beanbags. This little section in the corner had several tall shelves that we just took apart and we're kind of moving things around. So we do have in all of our libraries a young readers section. And what else do we have here? Well, this is all of our new books. Take a journey with a new book. Books versus movies. We're in the middle of shifting some books around. Oh, and here are those shelf dividers Mrs. Val Graybill was talking about. That is nice. That makes it super easy to find. So this library, both of our secondary libraries are genrefied. You can see the signs that Val's been working on. And another thing is we got each of our libraries a Cricut machine this year to assist with all of the fun signage and creativity and creative things we always need to make. I absolutely had to pop around the side of the building. All of our buildings have these beautiful, gorgeous murals painted by local artists or even created by our students, all reflecting our the beautiful environment around us. So check this one out. Of course, we have orcas. We're on the coast, and it's entirely made of a million little bottle caps. Recycled bottle cap orca art. How cool is that? All right, here we go. It's Saisla High School. Get ready to walk into the library. Okay, we're getting ready to walk into the library. There is a sources of strength meeting going on. As we all know, our library spaces are always used for programming and classes. Let's go meet Liz Wheeler, our library assistant. Okay, and now it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Ms. Liz Wheeler, our Saisla High School library assistant. Do you want to share some of the huge projects and things that you've been working on this year?
Yeah, so I finished fiction Genrefied last year. So this year I decided to read and genreify the nonfiction section.
Which is a huge deal. Genreifying in general is a huge deal that a lot of library staff are kind of a little hesitant about doing. And I love that you went after the nonfiction this year as well. And all of our library friends know that Kelsey Bogan has been doing a lot of ditching of the Dewey and all of that. So thank you so much for that. And then what else have you been exploring this year?
Well, we finally got a music making station, so navigating that has been a lot of fun, and having kids come in and play the piano and the guitar. And it's really actually like introduce students to each other,
Yes.
because I have a lot of students who are like teaching other students how to play the guitar in there, which is a lot of fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
You do such a good job with the makerspace stations. I mean, you always have you have many. You always have like at least 5 of
Yeah.
them. Sometimes it's just a puzzle, but even that is like another really great community builder. And and tell them about the mushroom spore prints.
Yes.
That was a wild makerspace station.
Yeah, so I have this really great student who is sadly graduating this year, but she loves like mushrooms and outdoors, and she's actually going to be a restoration ecologist, and she taught me how to do mushroom prints, which pretty much what you do is you cut the stem off the mushroom, put some water on the top of a piece of paper and leave it overnight, and then all the spores fall down onto the paper so you get a print of the mushroom.
They're absolutely gorgeous. And I
Yeah.
had never heard of that before Ava introduced that to the library. It's super cool. And that also kind of led to, like, we got a microscope this year, and we've been doing the virtual field trips, which kind of led into micro virtual field trips, which part of that was kind of inspired by Ava's mushroom spore printing. So you're such an awesome kid connector, and thank you so much for everything that you do.
Yeah.
Thank you. As to not disrupt the class that's going on, I'm going to speak over here, but I'm going to go and give you kind of like a little aerial overhead view of where a library space looks like. You notice that a lot of the space is avocado and brown. And we've been coming up with some really creative ways to update our space. I want you to kind of pay attention to 3 big long posters we made that say innovate, collaborate, explore. I actually did a podcast with Shannon McClintock Miller about ways in which we're trying to reimagine and revision our space. So let's take a look at that real quick. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed your tour. Check out some more gorgeous hot pink rhododendrons behind me. Anytime you're in the area, please stop. Okay, I'll stop it right there. I hope, was the video glitchy the whole time? I apologize if it was.
No, not glitchy. It was a little hard to hear sometimes, but yeah, but
Okay.
overall we got the idea, I think. That was
Got the
awesome.
idea. Yeah, any questions? I mean, Val, again, she's serving customers and Zooming at the same time. Val was, again, our middle school librarian. Julia's might still be on here as well. She's probably serving customers right now as well. And then Liz couldn't make it, but those were our 3 spaces. And it's a pleasure working in this district. I love being able to, I love the fact that we're all down the same road. Like literally, I didn't show it, but I had a little clip. I'm like, if you need to get a Chromebook cart from one building to the next, you literally just push down the sidewalk, which is kind of cute. So any final questions or comments from anyone?
I just love all the ideas I'm getting. This is amazing inspiration. I thought about doing the genreification of our media center as well, but we decided to just go with the sticker labels because it's such an undertaking.
It is an undertaking, and I will tell you, most of that genreifying happened last year during the pandemic. Like our middle school library had been genreified, and now Val is having to like kind of tidy and clean everything up. Like it was started, but not all of the records in Destiny were fit. Anyway, there was a lot of fixing to do, but Liz at the high school did all of that, most of it last year. But yeah, I definitely didn't have my last library genreified, nor would I have. It was like a 6,500 square foot beast of a space. And I would have had to come in over the summer for like a month to make that happen. So Yeah. All right.
Jen, did I hear you say that, was it your high school library that she genrefied her nonfiction section?
Yes, and I figured someone was going to ask about that, and I know she shared her categories with me. When you talk about genrefying the nonfiction, I mean, it oftentimes stays pretty similar to Dewey, but it's kind of like, Dewey was a flawed character in that his own personal views.
Yeah. Well, and it
shapes-
makes
Yeah. I wonder if you cut out, Amy.
Yeah.
You saying
And it,
something?
sorry, should I wait? I'm almost to my destination.
Oh, no, go for it. Whatever you were saying. Were you saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying that it makes sense to me because the Dewey is like, you can find books of the Titanic in the 900s and the 600s I mean, they're just like all over the place, and so like it makes sense to me to have, and it is kind of similar. I would be interested to see what her sections were, like how she divided up her topics or whatever, but yeah, that would be cool. Does she notice an increase in circulation since she's done that?
I would say yes. I will share both the fiction and the nonfiction genre categories in our next PLC. And then our high school library, again, very brown and avocado, 1970s. We're working on recovering the laminate, which is great. There's so many natural collaborations you can do with other teachers on campus. So like our wood shop teacher is having the kids re-laminate all of our tables, which is a win for them and a win for us. And then we had to get rid of so much out of that high school library. The overall collection age was like 1951. The books were dirty and not sanitary. So we almost obliterated the nonfiction set collection. And so, yeah, now that it's like cleaned up, there's not much there, but we're trying to just like, now that we have databases, we don't go to the nonfiction books per se for research. We're trying, anything that we add back is AR because we use that out here. Just highly books that are high interest AR, fresh, clean, pretty. And so, yeah, she has now been circulating nonfiction books, whereas before they were like almost no one wanted to touch them, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. And I think it makes a difference to get rid of all the gunk. And then even if it's tiny, like at least it will probably circulate. What's left is a small collection of nonfiction. I think it would circulate. Like Churchill Debbie in our district, she and I kind of plowed through her nonfiction. Well, I didn't really do much of it. I just encouraged her to do it. But her circulation's gone up and it's filled with like awesome books that like pop, and kids wanted to check them out. So I think it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, you were kind of cutting out at the end there, Amy, but yeah, I'll say yes. And for, it's sometimes you have to convince your learning community like weeding is a good thing. I always like likening weeding to your clothing closet. Like you don't leave all the clothes in your closet that you've worn for the past 50 years. And how would you ever find anything? And anyway, so thank you for sharing those comments, and I'll share the genre categories next Friday. By the way, next Friday, I think we were also all going to bring our end of the year to-dos and protocols, and because we do certain things only one time a year and then we forget what the heck we have to do. So just think of end of the year procedures in your library, end of the year data reports, all that stuff. And I've got to hop off now to go ahead to another PLC, but thank you so much. It's so much fun. It brings me joy seeing everybody else's stuff. I love we're better together. I love sharing all of our ideas. So
Thank you.
yeah, have a nice weekend, everybody. See you next Friday. Bye.